Welcome back to another playthrough series. This time I'm going to be doing a playthrough of A Touch of Evil with all of the expansions, which is the Something Wicked and the Coast, plus the two little mini expansions that you can get from the Flying Frog production website, which is the Madness supplement and the Allies supplement. Alright, so everything's in here. I'm going to be playing two characters co-op. And that will be how I'm going to be playing through this playthrough of the game. So I guess setup, there are a ton of stack of cards for this game. Basically each board, the corner locations, there is a specific stack of encounter cards. We have 6 town elders here. They each have a secret that I've not looked at associated with them. They could be working for the forces of evil. They could be trying to aid us. We do not know. So I'm going to readjust the camera a bit. I'm going to go through sort of the setup of the game. We'll look at our two starting hero characters, and we'll look at the villain we're playing. Okay, so I just kind of am looking at the Echo Lake, the Something Wicked expansion board. Let's have a look at our two characters that we're going to be playing with in this co-op playthrough. And the first is Argot Blackwell, the Master Hunter. He has an honor of 2. It's not very honorable. And there are stats down here which will mean things during gameplay. Spirit of 2, Cunning 3, Combat 4. And we'll look at his abilities. He's a gruff outsider, so he does not draw an event card for encountering a town space, and you'll see how that works when we play. And he's on the hunt for evil. May draw an event card anytime he defeats a minion or does a hit to the villain outside of a showdown. And again, you might see that in action. Know thine enemy. May discard an event card to gain +2 fight dice for 1 attack, or to prevent a wound to himself. So that's a pretty good ability. And Hunter gains +2 fight dice against any beast, vampire, or ancient enemy. Alright, so that he has 3 wounds before he is knocked out. And every character starts with 2 investigation tokens. They're kind of the currency of the game, where you can buy town items and get layer cards and stuff. Alright, our second character is Liliana, the Lost Soul. She has an honor of 4, so she's a little more honorable character. She has a Spirit 3, Cunning 2, Combat of 1. We'll see why her combat is so low here when we look at her abilities. She is Shadow of the Past. May roll an extra fight dice for each hit she does in a fight round. Well, that's pretty good ability. And Spirited always uses Spirit in a fight. So she's always going to use her Spirit value of 3. So she's always going to roll 3 dice in a fight. And it says Loss of Faith. May not exchange items or allies with other heroes. Training Spirit at the church requires an honor 6+ test for her instead of the 5+ test normally. And she has 3 wounds as well before she's knocked out. Okay, so let's move on to what evil creature are we fighting? Well, indeed, we're going to be playing against the Bog Fiend. He's a villain beast, and he's a fiend. Special rules, he has regeneration. I'm not going to go through all the details of this right now. The only thing to keep in mind at the beginning of setup is at the start of the game, place a swamp marker in every marsh and bog space. And if you're fighting on these swamp spaces, the villain gets +1 combat and +1 wound. So if you're attacking the Bog Fiend on a space with a swamp, or it is sunken, he's going to get +1 combat dice die and a +1 wound as well. Now he has a total of 5 wounds. Because we're playing a co-op game, this is going to be 10. And he has a combat of 6, which means he's going to roll 6 dice while he's attacking you. So more detail on him in a bit. We can look at his Minion Chart. So there is a Bog Fiend Minion Chart. I'm using the advanced rules as well. Again, all these rules will make sense as we go through the turns. So if you roll a d6 during a Minion Chart roll, carried off in the night. I'm not going to read all the details. 2 to 3 is a sinking countryside. We're going to add swamp markers. 4 to 5 is a mosquito swarm. Minion shows up. And 6 is the Bog Fiend attacks. We will be using the advanced cooperative mystery phase chart. which means at the end of the hero's turns, we're going to roll 2d6 and we're going to consult this chart and see what it says before we draw the mystery card. Okay, and to clarify, we have the little board here which tells us what the swamp and sunken markers mean. The swamp marker, we've already kind of covered it off. Heroes in a space with a swamp marker are -1 fight dice. Okay, and it says when a second swamp marker will be placed at the same location, instead you put a sunken marker there. And what does sunken mean? It means you flip the token over, it's sunken. And this location has fully sunk into the swamp for good. And all existing game text on the board and card locations are removed, and you use this one, which is roll a d6. On a d3+, you draw an event card, on a 1-2, draw a mystery card. And we'll just show you the tokens here, what they are like. They are these little sunken tokens on one side, or sorry, swamp one side, sunken on the other. And we're going to place those. There's a bog here on the Echo Lake board, and we just twist over here. We have the marsh, gets a swamp token. Here, another part of the setup is on the south docks and north dock on the Echo Lake board are 2 investigation tokens each, and just pivot over here. On the coast board, the Icy Waters gets 3 investigation each. All right, quickly now, we'll go over a game round. We have this handy little chart. Basically, it's the first hero player's turn. So he does his turn, then all other players take their turn. Then we get into the mystery phase. And I'm not going to read all the details. A hero's turn consists of them rolling and moving. If you roll a 1, you get to draw an event card. If you roll 2 through 6, then you can move that many spaces. You'll fight enemies in your space, if there are any, and then you can take actions. And actions can be encountering the space, which is a mandatory action. You can try to collect investigation tokens. So if you roll a 5 or 6, you use your cunning, I believe, cunning or spirit. I think it's just cunning to try and retrieve tokens in the advanced rules. You can heal a wound by spending 3 investigation tokens. You can look at a town elder's secrets, costing you 2 investigation. In the co-op game, it costs you 1 investigation token per player. So I am playing with 2 players, so this is going to be 2. If we were playing with 3 players, it'd be 3, 4 players, 4, and so on. And you can buy a lair card, and I'll show you the Shadow Track cooperative game here in a second. And you can start a showdown if you are at the lair of the creature you're fighting. Okay, I'm just going to readjust the camera. We will look at the cooperative game track, and then I think we're probably going to be good to go next episode for starting right into the game. Okay, so we do have a cooperative game sort of tracker. And to buy a lair card, you can see the numbers here like 12, 8, 3. As this tracker moves down, finding the evil minions, or the Bog Fiend in this case, it could cost us 12 right now investigation tokens to buy a lair card to find out where he's hiding out. When we cross this line, he's going to get +2 health points. When we cross the next line, +2 health points, and you can see the cost of finding his lair goes down. If the marker ever leaves this track completely, the players automatically lose. So the idea is we're going to try to collect as many investigation tokens as we can, hunt down the Bog Fiend in his lair, and then pound him into the ground and take him out. And if we can manage to do that, then we will win the game. And also, as part of the coast board, we have 3 town elders for the coast, and they each have 2 secrets associated with them, and we don't know what those are. So that's part of the coast setup. I don't think there's too much more else to say. Like I said, there's just a pile of cards. Each of the main locations on the board, like the lighthouse, has its own stack of event cards that happen. All right, so first up is going to be our Master Hunter, Argot, and after that will be Liliana. So when we return, let me just say we will get right into the turns after this episode. So thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing. Join me next time when we get into the part 1 of the heroes moving of A Touch of Evil. I know I glossed over everything fairly quickly here, but you'll see all the rules and how things operate make sense as we play. All right, thanks so much.